Have you ever wondered why some people find quitting easy while others find it hard? This is Nasya Davos, and in this video, you will learn why some people find quitting easy no matter how they quit, and why others find it hard no matter how much they try. And no, it has nothing to do with how much willpower you have, how long you've been smoking, or how much you smoke. It's something else, so keep on watching. Before we get started, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button so you can get notified when we release more videos that will help you in your journey. So I'm sure you've heard stories of people who find quitting so easy, and maybe from people who found quitting hard in the past, but then in one quit attempt they found it very easy. And you're thinking to yourself when you hear these stories, like, how? Are they for real? And then we start rationalizing, oh, maybe they're not like me, or they don't smoke as much as I smoke, or they don't enjoy it as much, or they don't have the same problems as me. Or maybe you've heard stories of people who found quitting so hard that they cried, lashed out, and felt so deprived. Or maybe this has happened to you. So why does this happen? Well, over the years, my team and I interviewed thousands of smokers and ex-smokers from all sorts of different backgrounds to find the patterns that make people find quitting easy or hard. And what happened on smokers, people who find it easy, what they have in common, it's one thing. And it's not how much they smoke, how long they've been smoking, or how much stress they have in their lives, or how much willpower they have, or their physical addiction to nicotine. It's none of those things. And you know, everyone who is nicotine-free 5 days or more, they're done with a nicotine addiction. However, there are millions of people who relapse and crave cigarettes even after the nicotine withdrawal is over. So what happened on smokers have in common is that they overcame their mental addiction. The mental addiction is how much you believe you need smoking, how it makes you feel, and how ingrained it is in your life. It is the problem and the solution. So what happened on smokers did is that they broke up with their cigarettes. They realized that they're better off without addiction, and they don't want to be limited by their addiction anymore. Yes, they have hard moments, but they know that one cigarette equals 1,000, and it's just not worth it for them, because being addicted is not a good place to be. So let me show you 3 ways to know when you're mentally free from smoking and you're gonna find quitting easy. And if you notice you're not doing the things I will mention, just use them as a guideline so you will do things differently and find quitting easy and overcome the mental addiction. So the first thing is how you handle your craving voice. If you're addicted to anything, you have a craving voice. All of us have it. And this craving voice, this craving mind, think about it like a miserable and needy creature that all it wants is its precious nicotine. And the craving mind communicates to you in the form of a thought. It's going to tell you anything to get you to smoke. Because that's what cravings are. Cravings are just positive thoughts about smoking that create positive feelings about smoking, the desire for cigarettes. Thoughts like, I need a cigarette right now, or a cigarette will make me feel better, or just one puff won't matter. All those things are craving thoughts, and everyone has them. But when you're mentally free from smoking, you're able to handle those thoughts. And there are many ways to do that. You can ignore those thoughts, as if someone is talking to you and you don't want to hear from them. Like when the craving mind tells you, you need a cigarette right now, just ignore it. Say, okay, I heard you, bye. You can do that. You can also challenge those thoughts. Like when the craving mind tells you, I need a cigarette right now. Challenge this. Think to yourself, do I really need it? You can also let the thoughts pass mindfully, and you can replace them. There are many ways to handle them. If you want to know how to overcome the mental cravings, I have a video where I explain exactly how to do that, so make sure you check it out in the resources. What you definitely don't do when it comes to your mental cravings is act upon them. You don't act upon those thoughts. You don't believe them. You just recognize that there is a craving mind talking. And this gives you the power and the choice to not act upon this thought. And that's what it feels like to find quitting easy. And you know, none of the common methods out there teaches you how to be mentally free from smoking. No one teaches you how to handle your craving voice. So if you use nicotine replacement or vaping or pills without working on your mental dependence, you will find quitting hard. If you go cold turkey, if you quit gradually, if you take herbs and natural remedies, and you don't work on your mental dependence, you will find quitting hard. If you do hypnosis without consciously working on your mental dependence, you will find it hard. But if you first set your mind free from smoking, you will find quitting easy. And when you're no longer mentally dependent on smoking, you have no anxiety, no irritation or deprivation, and you're not jealous of other people smoking. Because when cigarettes are out of the question for you, the nicotine withdrawal symptoms won't even bother you because the mind is free and the mind affects the body. And you know, the withdrawal is not worse than a common cold. So if you're worried about the withdrawal, which is a very, very common worry, I used to have it too. I have a video where I explain why withdrawal is actually good for you. So if you're worried, make sure you watch that video. It's going to help you a lot. Okay, so the second way to know you're mentally free from smoking has to do with how you think about smoking. There is this misconception that being mentally free from smoking, having no desire for cigarettes, means that you never think about smoking. And this is not the case. The truth is that you actually think about smoking more right after you quit because the brain is biased. And I have another video where I show you why this happens and when you will stop thinking about smoking after you quit. So again, in the resources, you'll find the link. So here's what's important. Thinking is not wanting. What matters is how you think about smoking. When you're mentally addicted and you find quitting hard, you think of smoking as something you want right now. Otherwise, something bad will happen to you. You're going to have a nervous breakdown, you're going to feel stressed, you're going to not be patient, something bad will happen. But when you're mentally free from smoking and you find quitting easy, you see smoking as something that you used to do and you choose to not do it anymore. And you have better ways to cope, and you see cravings as just thoughts, as a memory without the compulsion to act upon this thought. Let me tell you a story about the power of perception and the power of our mindset. In 1971, during the Vietnam War, 20% of the US soldiers were addicted to heroin. So the government created an organization called Special Action Office of Drug Abuse Prevention to track those soldiers when they returned to the US and help them. And what they found is that only 5% of those soldiers relapsed back to heroin within a year of coming home, and 12% relapsed within 3 years. So 90% of heroin addicts stopped basically overnight. No withdrawals or anything, nothing, they were fine. Because when they came home, they changed their environment. The reasons for using were gone. They changed how they saw their addiction. They changed their context, they changed their frame of mind, they changed the routine. So this is an incredible success rate, 90%, especially for heroin, one of the worst addictions. So what I want you to take away, what matters is that how you see things will affect your realities, how you think about something. And if this applies to heroin addicts, it definitely applies to nicotine as well. And now the third way to know you're mentally free is that you're not using willpower. Now, when I tell you that, you usually tell me, but what's the difference really between using willpower and mind power, between willpower and overcoming the mental addiction? Like, how do I know I'm not using willpower? And this is a great question. So listen, when you're using willpower, you want to smoke, you see a benefit in smoking, but you have to stop yourself. You have to deny yourself the cigarette you desire. But when you're mentally free from smoking, you simply say, I don't do this anymore. You talk yourself out of it. And this is the key here, to talk yourself out of it. You don't have to resist your cravings. You simply have to remind yourself why you don't want to smoke. And you see the craving thoughts as separate from yourself. It's the addiction that wants you to smoke, not you. You don't want it. The addiction wants you to. Because think about it. Do you need any willpower to resist eating rat poison, ammonia, or acetone? Of course not. Why? Because they're harmful and disgusting chemicals. Well, tobacco has inside arsenic that's used in rat poison, it has ammonia that's used in toilet cleaners, and it has acetone that we use to remove nail polish. And the only reason why you want to smoke is not to taste those chemicals, of course not. The only reason why you want to smoke is because it believes it offers you something. And that's the mental addiction. Now, if you want to know what's inside your cigarettes and where else you can find the same ingredients, check the links below this video. I have a video just for that. Because what's important is that when you see smoking for the poison it is, a sum of chemicals, you don't want it anymore. So you don't need to use willpower to resist it because there's nothing to resist. So to sum up, why some people find quitting easy while others hard is because those who find it easy overcome their mental addiction. And you know you're done with a mental addiction, number one, from the way you handle your craving voice. Two, because of how you think about smoking. And three, you're not using willpower. Instead, you talk yourself out of smoking. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope it showed you a way to move forward. Thank you for watching. Like I mentioned before, we interviewed thousands of smokers and ex-smokers. So we took what the people who quit happily and successfully did right, and we put it in a method that everyone can use to quit. And that method is the CBQ method. It has helped thousands of smokers all over the world. It's the same method I talk about in my TED Talk, and it helps you overcome the mental addiction and find quitting easy because you take control of your mind. And I want to show you how you can apply the CBQ method to your own life and find quitting easy. So if you want to know how to get started with the CBQ, why it works and why it can work for you, I created a video where I put all the information you need for a good foundation, the foundational video of the CBQ method. So make sure you get it. The link is in the description of this video, and you're also going to get a PDF starter guide for the CBQ method, and this guide shows you what happens on every stage, and it has tips for every stage, so it's great to have it. So get the video and let me know in the comments, do you believe you can find quitting easy? I'm looking forward to reading your comments, and if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel to get more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.